Part 2. Water Ionizer Companies. As a consumer, the company you choose to do business with is equally as important as the product you decide to buy. Ultimately, a product is only as good as the company that makes it. In the water ionizer industry, there are several different types of companies. In this section, we will discuss them and explain why doing business with one particular type is more advantageous than with any of the others. There are basically four kinds of water ionizer companies: full-service ionizer manufacturers, private labeling manufacturers, private label sellers, and authorized resellers. There is only one full-service ionizer manufacturer operating in the United States, which is a company from Japan called Enagic. The United States corporate headquarters of Enagic is located in a 23,000 square foot facility in Torrance, California. There are regional offices and service centers located in Honolulu, Seattle, Dallas, Chicago, New York, and Orlando. There are also two offices in Canada and one in Monterrey, Mexico. There are additional offices located all around the world, including Hong Kong, Australia, France, Italy, Germany, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, Korea, and numerous locations in Japan. Being a full-service ionizer manufacturer means that the company owns and operates their own manufacturing facility and actually manufactures their own ionizer brand, and the service and support are handled directly by company employees. Enagic is using a direct sales model to bring their products to the United States market, meaning that they sell directly to consumers. They do this through a group of authorized independent distributors. Unlike distributors of other ionizer brands, Enagic distributors are only used in marketing their products. The order processing and fulfillment, shipping and receiving, and warranty and support are all done by the company, not by an independent distributor. Using this marketing model creates a major advantage for consumers. It allows the company to forgo many of the typical keystoning price markups normally associated with the distribution of products through traditional retail sales channels. This is what allows the highest quality ionizers in the industry to be offered at the lowest possible price. Consumers know that when a company manufactures a product and provides all the support, it means they have made a solid commitment to the product, the industry, and, most importantly, to the consumer. Tens of millions of dollars have been invested in research and development, in product tooling and machinery, in facilities and staff, in warranty and support. These are just a few of the things that separate a full-service manufacturer from the rest of the companies in the ionizer industry. After the full-service manufacturers, there are the private label manufacturers. These are companies that make ionizers for other companies. They don't normally build ionizers that reflect their own company name or brand. The main private labeling manufacturer is a company based in Korea called Emco Tech, but they also operate under the name Royal Water. They build about 30 models of ionizers for about 20 different brands. There are slight differences in models based on some features and design, but about 95% of the internal components of these machines are exactly the same. A very important point about the private label brands is that the actual manufacturer does not provide service or support for the ionizers they have made. Service is provided by a company that specializes in sales, that typically has no real experience or expertise in ionizer repair and maintenance. In addition to this drawback, in most cases, the private label companies are missing some of the most important ingredients necessary for truly superior and outstanding customer care. Emco Tech has no branches or offices in the United States, so there is no way to get local support from the company that actually manufactured the machine. Obviously, this is a huge drawback for consumers buying one of these ionizers. The next group are the private label sellers. These are the companies that purchase the private labeled ionizers from manufacturers like Emco Tech. They put their name on them and then claim to be an ionizer company. Jupiter Science is probably the most well-known of the Emco Tech private label brands. There are even companies that use the Jupiter models for other business ventures. IonWays, a traditional network marketing company offering ionizers for sale, have a sticker with their company name on the front of the machines, but when they talk about the ionizers they sell, they are referring to 3 models that are actually part of the Jupiter inventory, manufactured by Emcotech. Life Ionizers is another example of this type of company. They purchase an inventory of machines, which reflect their company name and model number, and then sell them to consumers. All they really do is push around products that another company actually created. We even discovered that Life Ionizer had promoted on their website that they were the exclusive manufacturer of the machines they sold. The manufacturer? They purchase wholesale product from another company and then sell it. How in the world does this make them a manufacturer? A private label seller, yes, but a manufacturer? No, they are not. This is an image of the screen capture of the Life Ionizer website promoting to consumers that they were the exclusive manufacturer of the machines they sell. This information was exposed in a detailed 13-page special consumer report entitled The Facts of Life. Shortly after the release of this report, the information about being a manufacturer was removed from their website. So why was it removed? And if it were not true, why was it put there in the first place? The only logical conclusion would be it was there to try to trick consumers into believing that Life Ionizers was indeed a manufacturer and not just a private label seller. Unfortunately, most consumers have no idea how these companies operate, and they trust the information being presented on the internet. This is why it is so important for consumers to do at least a little bit of research of who they're thinking about doing business with. Buying directly from the manufacturer is a great idea, but consumers need to make sure the company is really what they say they are. An actual manufacturer has invested millions of dollars in their operations, while these private label sellers only spend a small fraction of that on their limited amount of inventory. A private label seller referring to themselves as a manufacturer? This is an insult to the real manufacturers that have made the huge financial commitment to actually take their product from concept to creation. The main consumer issue with private label sellers is that they really have very little at risk, with nothing more than a relatively small amount of inventory keeping them active in the industry. This makes it much easier for them to consider leaving the industry altogether should market conditions change or should the operating cost increase, which would make their profits go down. Life Ionizers actually serves as an excellent example of this. Their business, located in Suite I in a small one-story multi-tenant industrial park, with most of the offices in the building only being 2,000 to 4,000 square feet, not having the substantial investment of their own building or their own manufacturing facility at risk makes it much easier for them to consider simply ceasing operations if they chose to do so. Consumers may be very surprised to learn just how little the majority of ionizer sellers actually have invested in their operations. From the looks of their websites, they appear to be million-dollar companies. But when the superficial layers of internet fluff are peeled back and the truth is exposed, consumers can finally see the real companies they are considering doing business with. Hopefully, they discover what lies beneath before spending their hard-earned money. The last group of companies are the authorized resellers. These are independent sellers that are authorized to sell and distribute here in the United States on behalf of a main company, most of which are based in Taiwan or Korea. There are quite a few different resellers operating in the United States, and perhaps you've heard of some of them. There is Chanson USA, Tyant USA, PurePro, Evantis, KYK, and many, many others. And there is an important fact that applies to all of them. None of these resellers are the actual manufacturers. They are not even official branches of the manufacturing company. They are simply authorized resellers, and support and service will only be available while they remain active in the industry. Of all the different kinds of companies selling ionizers, the resellers probably have the least to lose. since all they really do is buy limited amounts of wholesale inventory to sell at retail prices. Having the least to lose makes resellers the most likely to drop out of the industry, so consumers, beware. These are the main types of water ionizer companies operating in the United States. There are other brands out there, but for the most part, an ionizer company will always fall into one of the four types we've covered. As a consumer, remember that many of the different ionizer brands out there were actually built in the exact same factory, and that 95% of the internal components are identical. They just have a different brand name. We really don't want consumers to be taken advantage of or to be misled, and there are some easy ways to keep this from happening. The best way for consumers to protect themselves is to consider the following key points before deciding which company they will allow to earn their business. Number one, the type of company: a manufacturer, private label seller, or reseller. Number two, the length of time in operation. Many years in business creates experience, expertise, and dependability. Number three, number of locations, offices, or service centers offering local support. Number four, honors and certifications, industry recognition, Better Business Bureau ratings, Direct Selling Association membership, Water Quality Association certifications, etc. Number five, check out the company. Research the owners, the staff, and the main associates. Check for lawsuits, consumer complaints, etc. Know with whom you are doing business. Number six, be cautious with virtual, internet-based companies. Many times these turn out to be predatory sellers, promising the world but delivering very little once they get your money. Number seven, don't be pressured into a right now buying decision. Take your time and really understand your available options. Number eight, demand your rights as a consumer and get water samples. The proof of the effectiveness of the water produced by an ionizer is in a glass, not in a sales pitch. If a salesperson tells you their water ionizer is the best, then tell them to prove it by putting their money where your mouth is. Tell them to provide you with free samples so you can decide for yourself. If you are seriously considering the purchase of a water ionizer, we recommend that you demand the very best. Based on many years of experience in this industry, we have concluded that the best way to protect the investment in a water ionizer is to deal with an established, full-service manufacturer with an excellent reputation and solid track record, one that will be able to provide support and service for many years to come.